Welcome. This presentation will evaluate a business named Bob's Motorcycles. We are Group 1 for Summer 2016, MAR4674. Group 1 consists of Daniel Colina, Nicole Dallas, Natalia Gomez, Daniela Karaki-Suarez, Daniel Miret, and Anna Soto. The metrics we will be evaluating are unit market share, advertising cost, share of voice, brand penetration, total revenue per store, variable cost, unit margin by brand, numeric distribution, and brand CLV metric or customer lifetime value. First, we will evaluate the dealer's market share in Miami-Dade for the year of 2012. Unit market share is the number of units that are sold in relation to the number of units sold in the market. The largest of the dealers we are evaluating with the largest share in the market is Bob's Motorcycles. In 2012, Bob's held 21% of the market share with 1,523 units sold. Following Bob's Motorcycles would be Sam's Motorcycles with 14% of the market share and 1,015 units sold. The third largest dealer would be Dave's Motorcycles with 12% of the market and 902 units sold in 2012. The remaining dealers in the Miami-Dade area hold 53% of the market.
When looking at advertising costs, one needs to know that advertising costs show how much each brand in the category is spending on marketing and advertising. So for the motorcycle category, the four brands are Honda, Harley-Davidson, Suzuki, and Kawasaki. The total advertising costs are $2 million spent by Honda, Harley-Davidson spends $1 million, Suzuki spends $500,000, and Kawasaki also spends $500,000. So this leads to Honda leading with the most advertising costs. Advertising costs, they show how strong each company is competing to get their name out in the market. The motorcycle brand wants to know if they are spending the right amount on advertising, which will be discussed further in share of voice. So in total, the total amount of advertising spent in this category is $4 million. Next, we have the share of voice, which borrows from the advertising costs in the previous slide. Here, we will calculate share of voice through dividing the company's advertising spending by the total advertising spending in the market. As I mentioned before, the total advertising spending in the market is $4 million. That's with all four companies spending in total. So with Honda, they spend $2 million, so divided by $4 million equals 50% of spending in the market. Harley-Davidson spends $1 million, so divided by $4 million, that's 25% of the market being spent on advertising. And both Suzuki and Kawasaki, they each spend $500,000, so $500,000 divided by $4 million is 12.5%. Among the other advertisers, Honda spends more than double on advertising than its competitors. Harley-Davidson comes in second with double the costs of Suzuki and Kawasaki. Bob does not carry Harley-Davidson brands, so he can focus on his high Honda presence. When the Suzuki and Kawasaki representatives approach him, he should tell them that they need to increase their advertising costs in order to match up to Honda's great presence.
Hello, today I'll be speaking about brand penetration. Miami-Dade motorcycle target market potential is 863,670. The total number of registered motorcycles in Miami-Dade 2012 was 54,470. The current motorcycle market penetration is at 6.3%. The category penetration in units is at 1%. Bob's Motorcycle currently does not carry Harley-Davidson brand. So this would be a good opportunity for Bob's Motorcycle to start selling the Harley-Davidson brand, which would increase business and increase profits because there is a huge market that is possible open for market penetration.
In order to find Bob's total revenue for the year 2012, you first need to figure out what brands Bob carries. In this case, he carries Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, not Harley-Davidson. Then, you find out how many motorcycles of each brand were sold and multiply each amount of units sold times their selling price. Then, you get the three revenues of each brand, and when added together, that comes to a total of $16,134,000, which is Bob's total revenue for the year 2012. In order to find the total revenue for Dave's, Sam's, and other competitors' businesses, we must perform the same formula for each brand. Each brand carries different brands. For instance, Dave does not carry Honda, and Sam's carries all, and so does the other competitors. With this information, you find out how many motorcycles of each brand were sold and multiply each amount of units sold times their selling price per business. The total revenue for Sam's, coming in at the lowest, is $12,160,000. The total revenue for Dave's, coming in second lowest, is $12,612,000. The revenue for Bob's, coming in third lowest, is $16,134,000, and the total revenue for the other competitors, coming in highest, is $45,982,000. In order for Bob to become a contender against the other competitors, he should aim to carry all brands by adding Harley-Davidson and increase his units sold of the Suzuki motorcycles, which cost the most and will add to the total revenue.
The next metric our team decided to present are variable cost by brand. Variable costs are costs that varies with the level of output. They rise as production increases and fall as production decreases. Variable costs are found by multiplying the selling price by 1 minus the margin percentage. As shown in the graph, the variable costs are as follows. Harley-Davidson variable costs are $14,400. Suzuki has variable costs of $9,600. Honda's variable costs are $8,000, and finally, Kawasaki incurs $6,400 variable costs per motorcycle. Identifying all of a business variable costs is very important for several reasons. First, clearly understanding what costs will move in line with sales will help identify any costs that are given irregular results from month to month. Second, knowing all of your variable costs lets you determine the profit margin on your sales. The next metric we will look at is the unit margin by brand. This metric is found by subtracting variable cost from selling price. But for this case, we do not have the variable cost, but we do have the contribution margin percentage. In order to find the unit margin by brand, we simply multiply the selling price of each brand by the contribution margin of 20%. That will give us a unit margin of $3,600 for Harley-Davidson, $2,400 for Suzuki, $2,000 for Honda, and $1,600 for Kawasaki. This unit margin metric can be quite useful. It tells the manager how much profit each brand will earn for every unit sold. The contribution margin often helps a company decide whether it should manipulate its selling price and sales of volume.
Numeric distribution. Honda's numeric distribution is at a 66.6%. Harley-Davidson numeric distribution is at 77.7%. Suzuki's as well as Kawasaki's numeric distribution is both at 100%. And to find the brand numeric distribution, we must divide the number of outlets that's carrying the brand by the total number of outlets.
Customer lifetime value was used to predict the value that Bob's motorcycle will deliver from its entire relationship with the customer due to the sale of a specific brand. For that, we analyzed the four major brands of the market and calculated their CLVs, using their margin, cost per service, and probability of success. We got that Honda has a customer value of $3,200, Suzuki $3,000, Harley-Davidson $5,100, and Kawasaki $2,200. As evidence on the results, Harley-Davidson's customers deliver at least $1,900 more value than customers who purchase any of the other brands, meaning that Bob's could benefit from the sale of Harley-Davidsons.